Question of the day from a viewer. Enjoying your videos, Bill. My question is, I am a singer-songwriter, acoustic guitarist, single person act. I have an S1 Pro, which I'm enjoying. Good sound. Should I get a second? Long and short answer, no. Unless you need more volume. If you need more volume, you probably need a better speaker. A bigger speaker, not better, but something with more dBs. But if you're a singer-songwriter and you're enjoying your sound, I believe Bose says 50 people or less. I'm not sure of that number. Somebody can chime in. I've never performed for 50 people with an S1 Pro. But again, if you need more volume, you need a different speaker. As you can see here, I'm an owner of a pair of S1 Pros, and I want to emphasize this video is about the original or the legacy, whatever you want to call it, the S1 Pro that came out, I believe, 6 years ago in 2018 or so. This is not about the Plus model. That's a different subject and different features. So this is for the original Bose S1 Pro at $500 each. So yes, I have a pair and I've enjoyed it. So as far as volume, when the person said, should I get a second S1 Pro? Well, as far as volume, I've found in my own testing, you're going to get about 3 dB more gain. And that's not huge. I mean, it is audible, but it's not a reason I would spend $500. Again, I would just go up to a better speaker that instead of the S1 Pro puts out 103 dB. My choice, and I have all kinds of videos about it, is the eVerse 8 at 121 dB. So that's a huge difference. So, you spend a little more money and you get the right speaker for the application. Now, there are some applications that I would recommend getting a pair. And it does sound great, a pair of them. And that is, if you're just strictly listening to tracks, the S1 Pro, they do pair up wirelessly in stereo. So that's really nice. Anytime you have a second speaker that you can put, 10 or 15 feet apart on a stand. Obviously, I'm not demonstrating with a stand right now. They should be at ear level. And if you can have one left and right, it creates that stereo feel that cannot be beat by a mono speaker. So that's one situation, if you're listening to strictly tracks. The other situation is if you're a keyboardist. I know some of their samples on the electronic keyboards, they're recorded in stereo. So a lot of keyboardists like to have a stereo pair at ear level behind them on stands. And the only other situation I can think of is electronic drums, which I play. And again, the samples are recorded in stereo. So when you play with one speaker mono, you're losing some of what you paid for. But as far as everything else, one speaker, the whole idea of an S1 Pro, in my opinion, is the portability, the weight. So whenever I'm ready to use it, get up and go to the park, go to the beach, whatever, I pick up one speaker, even though I own two. So I probably made a mistake buying two. It's kind of the second one sits around. I actually use it in a different room, but there's very, very few times where I'll take out both. It defeats the purpose of the portability. Forgot to mention another situation why someone might want a pair of S1 Pros, and that is if you're DJing small parties, and I do mean small, a lot of people for aesthetics, they want the matching pair left and right of their DJ table. Again, I'm not a DJ, but people in the DJ business, that's how they earn their living, by having a nice looking setup. A pair of them would look better, not necessarily much louder, but looks only. Oops, I'm sorry. Edit that last statement. If you're a DJ, it's not looks only, because the DJ controller, like listening to a hi-fi stereo, does get their gain from left and right. So definitely, since they're playing tracks, left and right, a pair would definitely be better for a DJ. Now, if that same person comes back and says, no, you're right, I don't need much extra volume, but I do have situations when I'm playing live where I have a need for a fill speaker. Maybe I have one speaker in the front of the room toward the dance floor, and then I have some tables, dinner tables, and I want to have some music that reaches them at a decent volume. So that would be considered a fill speaker. So I have a perfect solution if you're not looking for looks, and that is the speaker on the right. Fairly new, came out this year, actually 2023 it came out. That is the Alto Busker. If you like this idea, it's going to save you $150. It's $350 instead of $500 for the Bose S1 Pro. But to me, there's reasons besides price. Even if the price was more money, I would still get the Alto. And so here, let me tell you about it. So the Alto, number one, obviously, it's slightly smaller, slightly less weight. It's 12 pounds. It's actually the lightest PA speaker I know of at this time. 12 pounds compared to the Bose 15 pounds, not too much, but it is smaller. I really love the lightness and the small form factor. Actually, it's my favorite pick up and go speaker right now. It used to be Bose. But the number one reason is it has a different sound signature than the Bose. If you're a Bose fanboy, or you know their sound signature, they're known for their mid-range sound. Very smooth, non-fatiguing, hi-fi-like, room-filling, because it does have their Bose technology, a couple of tweeters and an array or something. It fills up, I believe the S1 Pro is 120 degrees, something like that. But the Alto has a different sound signature. Instead of that smooth mid-range, it has a very clean high-end, at least the way I've EQ'd it. I'll be glad to give my EQ out if you're interested. Anyway, it has a more traditional PA sound, and that traditional PA sound goes for EV, JBL, QSC, turbo sound. All of those speakers have a nice, clean, high-end. I like to call it, it's kind of like in your face. It's like you're on the stage, a live sound. Now, some people say that's fatiguing sound. I personally like that very clean, high-end. And the Alto has that. The Bose has a different sound signature, like I mentioned. It has that mid-range, but the highs are rolled off to a certain extent. I like to say when you A/B them, it sounds like when you're listening to something like Alto, QSC, JBL, EV, and then all of a sudden you switch on Bose, it sounds like someone threw a blanket over the speaker. Something, you're missing frequencies. The Bose does not have a dedicated horn or tweeter, and that's what we're missing here. I don't know why Bose can't do that, but I'm sure it has something to do with their technology of the 120 to 180 degree throw. I don't know. Maybe someone can tell me why. The other reason I would prefer an Alto as my second fill speaker than a second Bose S1 Pro, it is louder. The spec is 106 dB, again compared to Bose 103 dB, and it is noticeable. It's noticeably louder, and I've been able to crank up the Alto using a mixer or even just Bluetooth, and it stays very clean at high end, near its max, where the Bose is starting to sound pretty harsh. When Bose gets close to 100 dB, I kind of want to run and turn it off. It's sounding harsh to my ears, where the Alto stays clean. And that's the same thing like the other speakers I mentioned, EV, JBL, all QSC. They all stay much cleaner sounding at their max volume. So that's it. Again, if you don't need the matching pair to visually look nice and, looks the same, matching pair visually, I would go with Alto. It's a better performing speaker, especially if you're going to play them both together. Now, if you're just getting the Alto, again, I'll check out my past videos. It's all high end. It's lacking bass, where the Bose has some nice low end, which is interesting because they both have the same size woofer, 6.5 inch woofer. But it all comes down to tuning. Bose has that, again, the mid range, and the mid range goes into the lower frequencies, nicer, fuller, more hi-fi than the Alto. Alto is all high end. But if you pair up the Alto with a subwoofer, you're going to have best of both worlds. But that's another video. I'll put the link down below. I think an Alto with a subwoofer is my number one small micro system right now. It used to be Bose S1 Pro. Alto has taken over. Okay, one more reason why I'm going to say go with Alto as a second speaker, a fill speaker. And it's a big reason. And that is the S1 Pro. Like I said, you can match up a second with their app. Unfortunately, the app doesn't do much. All it does is connect a second speaker wirelessly in stereo, which is nice. But the Alto has an app. And here we are in 2024. Every speaker that's coming out, they all have apps. But the S1 Pro is a 6-year-old speaker. Of course, the new S1 Pro Plus, they have an app. But that's not the topic of this video, right? We're talking about the $500 speaker, not the more expensive, close to $700 speaker. So the Alto has an app. I'm going to show it to you in a minute. And what can you do with the app? What's really nice about the app is if I just took these two speakers and I'm using the app, I could use the app like a mixer. I can lower and raise the gain and blend it with the Bose. It's a really nice feature. I use it all the time. And some people don't like apps, but if you use it properly, I think it's definitely worth the money. And in this case, it's actually less money. You're getting for $150 less, louder speaker, better sound. Actually, when they play together, it's really a great pairing because you have the Alto with those missing high end, and then you have the Bose with the better low end and mid range, and it's really a great pairing. I am very pleased with this. Let me show you the connections. Connections are exactly what you see. One cable. That's it. Get a nice 15-foot cable and you put them on poles and you have a super lightweight micro system. I was carrying this upstairs just now to do the video. I had the S1 Pro in one hand, the Alto in the other. It was like two small dumbbells I'm carrying, both under 15 pounds or less. Let me show you the connection. You've heard of the expression plug and play? Well, this couldn't be any simpler. Actually, you don't even have to plug. They're both battery powered. And please don't ask me which one lasts longer. I've done no long-term tests. I'm not a DJ. I haven't done any parties for 4 or 5 hours to tell you if the batteries last as far as what Bose and Alto claim. What I do is when these speakers reach 50%, that's when I charge them. And that's as far as what I've been told keeps battery healthy. Okay, so here is your one cable setup. In my case, I'm using my S1 Pro as my Bluetooth speaker, as the main speaker. And I'm coming from the line out right there. And that is TRS. You see the two lines there? If you're a beginner here, TRS has the two lines compared to a guitar cable that has one line. Now, the reason why you want TRS is because the way Bose has it set up, if you use a TS cable, you're going to lose, I believe it's 6 dB of gain. And that is considerable. You don't want to lose that kind of gain. So you got your 1/4-inch TRS. Now you can go to TRS cable. Personally, I like XLR. So I'm going, the cable is TRS to XLR. And again, I'll put the link down. I get these cables on Amazon, good quality for $20 or less. I think it's $18 for a 15-foot cable. And I just like the fact that XLR, if someone trips, it's a little more secure than 1/4-inch. And that's it. That's your whole connection. Like I said, you put these speakers on poles, 10 or 15 feet apart. You have a really nice setup. Let me show you the app that controls it. Controls it like a mixer. Here we go. So here is the Alto app that's sorely missing from the older technology of the S1 Pro. Now, I do want to say something. This app isn't the best. It's a little glitchy. When you pull this slider, it's not very accurate, but it's definitely better than nothing. So here we go. So I have my main volume. Channel 2 is where I have this set up right now, that I would be blending it with the Bose. So what's nice is from a distance, that's what's great about apps, because you can be standing back 15 or 20 feet where the audience is sitting or dancing, and you can adjust that gain, and you can hear how it sounds. In the old days, you would have to go behind the speaker, and you don't hear exactly how the audience is hearing it. So here we go. I'm on my slider on channel 2. So I need a little more volume. I boost the volume quickly, or people are complaining at the back tables. You know, Grandma Jones is back there saying it's too loud, I can't talk. So I can lower that speaker down and keep the Bose S1 Pro, which is near the dance floor, or the DJ table. I can keep that at a louder volume. What I really like about this setup is the fact that I can blend the speakers perfectly. And there's also sometimes I use the Alto as kind of like an EQ. So if I have a track that I want a little more high end, then I just push up that slider on the Alto, and it brings up that clarity that's missing from the Bose. It's really good. I don't need a mixer. The mixer stays at home. Simple, super setup. I'm enjoying it. Here are my EQ settings for anybody who is interested. It already has a nice high end, but I boost the highs +5. I boost the mids +6 because it's lacking in mids. Give that as much as possible. And I boost the low end quite a bit because, like I said, it's a pretty lean speaker. So even with this EQ, you don't have much bass on this speaker. It's really a lean speaker, as I like to say. Again, if you think these EQ settings are ridiculous, I don't play acoustic guitar. I'm not a vocalist. Just I'm using this for tracks, and it sounds pretty good to my ears. Two things I want to point out about adding the Alto. When you add the Alto to the Bose, they are both playing in mono, dual mono, not stereo. Also, the Alto app will not control the Bose speaker. Keep those two things in mind. At this point, I'm not sure if I want to do a sound demo. There's always one guy who says, can't you play some good music? Well, the answer is, unfortunately, no. I have all kinds of great tracks I wish I could share with you. But, there's copyright issues. I don't want to be brought in front of a judge and a lawyer for playing someone else's music, because it has happened. And then there's always the person that says, why are you playing tracks? It's a waste of time. You can't hear anything on YouTube, which is correct. You really cannot hear the proper sound on YouTube. Especially, I'm using a inexpensive microphone. One viewer recently said to me, you need to buy some quality microphones and a special interface. Yeah, unfortunately, I'm not spending my money on, for YouTube again, I'm spending my money on gear. Okay, I'm just doing this for fun. This is not my job. Anyway, so it's very hard to please people. They don't like the tracks. One guy said, play some acoustic tracks. And I said, well, send me some. I don't know of any. Please send me some good copyright-free tracks, if anybody knows of any. Someone said, demonstrate vocals. Well, I'm not a singer. I do have a microphone. I guess I could just talk into it, maybe in the future, not today. So what do we say? Sound demo, or thumbs up or thumbs down? Okay, some of you have convinced me. A quick sound demo. Let's hear how it sounds. I'll start with the Bose by itself, and then I'll use that slider and bring up the Alto. It's going to be louder. I'm going to tell you right now, the Alto is a louder speaker. So here we go. I switched to channel 1, so channel 2 is muted, and I'm going to be using the main volume only. I'm going to be using that main volume on the top there to bring up the Alto, and I'll bring it up, and then I'll bring it down again, and you'll hear just the Bose by itself, and then I'll bring it up, and you'll hear how that high end kicks in and the volume. This is a nice way on a big tablet. You can use split screen. If you never tried that, it's kind of a nice technique. Okay, hope you enjoyed that. Pretty big difference, especially in the gain. When you turn on that, kick up the alto, it's a much louder speaker and it stays clean. It adds that clarity. And then when you take off the alto, you hear that nice mid-range and low end of the Bose. So, in my opinion, best of both worlds. It's a really nice combination. You add a subwoofer to this, small subwoofer, and you have a incredible micro system. Guess what? That might be my next video. Never tried these two with a sub. My S1 sub 1. You saw the glitch in the app though. It's not the best app. Sometimes I try to slide it and nothing happens. Sometimes you slide it, it goes too loud. It's nothing like the EV app. Okay, wrapping this up. So going back to the beginning question is, should I get a second S1 Pro? Well, if you want to save $150, you want a louder speaker, you want to add some nice high frequency, I would just get an Alto. If you're looking for looks only and it has to look symmetrical, then yes, get another S1 Pro and it'll look fine and dandy. This is Bill. Hope you enjoyed. Next time.